Chronicles of a farm stay startup here at the Hidden Spring Farm. Beautiful day here in Horseshoe Valley, Ontario, Canada. Welcome to the farm, guys. Welcome to another great day. When we bought this property 2 years ago, we thought it was a good idea to start chronicling, documenting, so to speak, all of the happenings of my wife and I creating this paradisical farm stay and experience. Now, for those of you who have never heard of a farm stay before, a farm stay is essentially an operating farm that offers some sort of accommodations. And maybe it'll be an interactive experience for guests. Now, the type of farm stay that we're trying to create here at the Hidden Spring Farm is very family oriented. To have kids on the farm, and it's very interactive for them, and they can go in and check out the animals, hang with them for a while. They can feed the animals, collect the eggs, that sort of thing. Every guest that comes to the farm also gets a complimentary farm tour in our mule. Now, a farm stay is a type of agri-tourism, which is kind of a combination of agriculture and tourism. And some examples of that are pick-your-own fruit farms, and you'll see some roadside farm stands. Those are all examples of agritourism. So agritourism is basically some way to bring people to your farm, and we've chosen a farm stay. Now, this property is 90 acres, and it's an investment for my wife and I. We're hoping to turn this property into an amazing and beautiful farm stay and experience vacation rental. All at the same time, transforming this place into our forever homestead. And that includes, little by little, becoming more self-sufficient in the way we raise and prepare our own foods. So far, we've been raising some of our own chickens and ducks for meat, and we also have a huge vegetable garden that we're trying to grow some of our own vegetables, just like our own produce aisle out of the grocery store. Now, this garden is a work in progress. It's still probably going to take us a few more years, and we've been battling Mother Nature and the weeds and the grass. And so far, we're making a little bit of headway. We've put landscape fabric all over this place, and I mean, we're slowly getting it under control. The farmhouse here is 105 years old, and it's a 4-bedroom. My wife and I decorated it as rustic and cool looking as possible so that it will be as welcoming as it can be for the new guests. Now, because we're so focused on families here at the farm, what do you think of when you say farm if you're a kid? You think of barnyard animals. So we started with ducklings, we went on to chicks, then I had to build this custom ultimate duck house, which a lot of our guests like to take photos in front of because it looks super cool. It's got a fully protected run, it's 30 feet long, so that when we're not at the farm, the ducks still have access to food and water outside, and it doesn't muck up the duck house. Now, last year, believe it or not, I traded a guy duck eggs for 4 goose eggs. These are Emden geese, and they hatched. I hatched them, and we got these 4 Emden geese, and I built them this wicked awesome goose caboose for them to live in. Now, keep in mind, we got these geese so that they could behave like guard geese while our ducks are free-ranging in the mini orchard here. We planted 30 plus trees in this area here. This is our orchard, and you can see I fenced in so that the geese and the ducks can't wander further away. We got cherries out here, we got pears, we got apples, we have a couple of plums, and it's also a permaculture style. So what that basically means, permaculture, you know, there's a bunch of honey locust trees that we planted in and around, and they act as nitrogen fixers, meaning they're helping with the nitrogen in the soil. And of course, what's a farm without farm dogs? All of the guests love interacting with Molly, the old English sheepdog. Now, Olive, she's relatively new to the farm. She was given to us by one of our amazing YouTube viewers. Olive has only experienced 2 guests at the farm, and one of them is in the farmhouse right now. Yes, that's right, folks. We have one person guest in the farmhouse. It's a 4-bedroom house, and she's here for 2 months. Now, if that's not a great booking, I don't know what is. Now, of all of our 90 acres here at the farm, 40 of those acres are hay fields. Now, I don't really have the equipment nor the desire to want to handle these hay fields all by myself. So what we do is we lease the land out to our neighbors, and they maintain, cut, and they get to keep the hay in the end. But they will give me some bales of hay if I ask nicely. Then after we got chickens, I started building this custom chicken house. It's called the Chateau du Poulet, and it's got 8 sides, it's octagonal, and it's supposed to have 7 coops, which will allow us to separate the different breeds if we choose. Now, this chicken house goes hand in hand with us striving to make our life more self-sufficient with our food. And one of those is eggs, one of those is chicken, meaning meat chickens. These are some of our newly hatched chickens. These are light Sussex chickens, and these are going to be our meat birds this year. This is the first batch. These guys here are about teenagers, and these little guys in the brooder here, they're also light Sussex chickens, and they're also some of our meat birds. They're just at a different growth level. It'll allow us time to harvest the first round of birds, get them in the freezer, and then switch over to these guys. They'll be big enough by then. Oh look, another duckling hatched. Look at that cute little guy. That little guy just hatched just now. So he's got to stay in there a little while longer because he's not yet dry and fluffy. He needs to stay inside the incubator. It's for his own good. When kids stay at the farm, they love checking for eggs. They love coming in here, snooping around in all the nesting boxes, opening them up, seeing what's in here. Maybe there's a hen laying some eggs. Maybe you'll find some eggs. Maybe you'll hear Michael Jackson crowing right there. Maybe you'll hear Elvis Presley crowing. Nothing. Sometimes he crows a lot. Him and Michael Jackson sing back and forth competing. Then we have all these Rhode Island red chickens. A whole slew of chickens that give amazing big brown eggs. And we have Big Red the rooster that keeps them all in line. Now, my darling and I figured we could knock off 2 birds with 1 stone here. Because A, we need some livestock type animals to attract some guests. You know, to attract the kids. And it's very important because it makes you a real farm. You know, there's not very many farm stays that are just like an orchard. Because what are you going to do in an orchard, you know? It takes forever for fruits to grow. It's only happening when it's picking the fruit time. But when there's animals involved, the kids eat it up. And the second thing, it's also allowing my Darden and I to live a more sustainable lifestyle, and I'm speaking specifically about our food production. When it comes to chicken, we didn't buy any chicken last year. We harvested our own chicken, and it filled up our freezer, and we had enough pretty much for the whole year. That's amazing! We also had a small handful of duck meat in the freezer, and we also had a lot of food for the dogs. Now, I get a lot of people questioning me, why did I build this structure for the chickens? And why did I build that kind of structure for the ducks? And part of the reason is that, yeah, okay, it's fun to build cool, unique structures. But it's very important to me that our guests that are staying at the farm, whether they're adults or whether they're staying with their kids and their families, have a very interactive experience with the farm animals. And these structures, especially the chicken house and the duck house, they're designed in such a way, by me, purposely, so that people can go inside. People can go in and try to pick up a chicken. They can collect the eggs. It's all there for them at arm's reach. And it's the same with the duck house. They can go in, mind you, as soon as you go in, the ducks go out to the other side because ducks are scared of everything. They freak right out. Now, the barn cats are a whole other topic of conversation here at the farm, and there's a whole bunch of kids that stayed at the farm in the past couple of years that really like the cats. This is the catio. I built this very quickly because we lost a couple of barn cats to predators here at the farm. Yes, they were living a free life. They are no longer living a free life. Sad to say. So I built this structure for them.
I let the cats out in the morning, and they're basically out and about all day long, hunting and protecting our farm, but then they come back and I lock them up at the end of the day.
They have access here 24/7, and you know, there's just a dirt ground. They have sand for them to do their business in. They have food, they have water, they have shelter, they have windbreaks, they have toys, they have climbing apparatuses, and they have access to the cat house, which used to be my workshop. And it's still kind of my workshop, but it's the cat house now. And it's big. That's where they live. And they have access to the catio out there. That's a lot of space for the barn cats. Now, in addition to the cats just being wicked awesome, they also serve a function here at the farm. These cats catch so many rodents, it's not even funny, especially Chunk. He catches something every single day. He's bringing them back as gifts for me. Sometimes he's leaving them right there by the entrance to the catio. They're amazing. And that's what they do great on the farm. Otherwise, the farm would just be overrun with rodents. You know, mice, moles, voles, rats, you name it. They keep them in check and they do a great job, and I really appreciate them. And I try to take good care of them and give them really good food so that they can live a great life here at the farm. Shortly after I finished that goose caboose for the geese, I started planning and working on this bunny barn. Now, if you've just seen my last video, it was all about how I'm designing the ultimate rabbitat. Because rabbits, they have a skill of escaping their community, you know, their colony. They always want to dig, and it's important to figure out how best to keep the rabbits. I don't want to keep the rabbits in cages. I'm not gonna knock anybody who does keep their rabbits in cages, because it's perfectly acceptable as long as they have some cooling stations there so that they're not gonna hurt their feet on the wires. We are just trying to create an interactive experience for our guests, and I really don't think that keeping the rabbits in cages is gonna do that. So I'm building this bunny barn, and basically from the doorway, I'm gonna have a little aisleway to walk here, and there's gonna be two stalls, one big stall and one small stall. Small stall is really gonna be like a nursery type stall. You know, that's where I can put the mom with the babies and they're not gonna get attacked by the dad, because rabbits sometimes do that. But what this will do is it'll allow guests to come in here, walk along this aisle, and then these two pens will have doors and they'll be able to get right inside. And I think that's as interactive as I can get it. Plus, these rabbits are gonna have this entire area here as a play area or a run. They can get some fresh air and it'll be sheltered, and it's gonna be wicked awesome. We're also lucky on this 90 acres that we got this wicked awesome antique barn. Let's see what's inside. Hello, rabbits. Wascally rabbits. Altogether, we have 4 does and 1 buck. I've put one of the does in with the 1 buck so they can mate and make some babies. And then the other 3 are just in this pen here. It's a pretty cool barn. I don't even know how old it is. It's definitely really old, and it still has all the old hand-hewn beams in them. Let's go, girls. Let's go. I love it when they listen to me. Eventually, I'm going to extend the roof of this barn so that it'll have another 8 feet here. I'll have access to it from the inside, and this is going to be an animal pen. I don't really know what animal pen. Probably goat, sheep, or pig. Maybe. I don't know. Could be something else, you never know. I don't think we're ready yet for any bigger type animal. I'm still in the process of building up the infrastructure of the farm, you know. Eventually, my wife and I'd like to build our own house somewhere here on the property, you know. We want to continue renting out this farmhouse and completely build this up into a farm stay. We've been building up this channel now for 2 years. We're doing pretty good, but if you're so inclined to subscribe and you can follow along on this journey of ours of transforming this old hobby farm and turning it into something of an amazing farm staying experience. I'm hoping for big things for this place. We thought it would be a great idea to have a YouTube channel showcase every transformation that we're making on the farm to attract customers to stay at the farm stay. I don't know if it's working, but we're doing pretty good. Now, if you're new to the channel and you want to take a more in-depth look at what we've accomplished for the first 2 years on the farm, click the link below. And it's a video I did a few weeks ago, and it basically summarizes everything that we did in the first 2 years on the farm.